Good to go. We're going to get started. So guys, back to the what if I told you slide. I know you guys saw this slide, but you couldn't hear what I was saying. So what if I told you that everything they taught us about life in our physical reality was a lie? What if I told you that you had a lot more power over your physical reality than you initially thought? What if I told you we had a lot of control over what our reality presents as? What would you think about that? How does that make you feel? Feel free to drop any comments and questions over there in the chat box. And guys, I will do my best as I'm talking to answer your questions as I go. And if I don't get to any of your questions as I'm going, I will go back and get to them at the end. Alrighty. So give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and send this out to a couple of people so I can make sure you guys are tuned in. All right. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to keep talking. So I have my little Morpheus here, guys, with the red pill and the blue pill. And what if I told you that everything you think you know about reality is untrue and that you have a lot more power over your physical reality than you initially thought, than you were taught. And there we go. You didn't take, yay, we got it worked out. All right. Happy dance, happy dance. Yay. Okay. So guys, I know you saw a couple of these beginning slides to start, but I'm gonna go over them again. So there we have our Morpheus. Right. And you see me. We're good. Awesome. So I'm going to turn myself off and I'm going to continue talking. So today we're going to explore a little bit about the energetic realms and how the energy realms affect our physical reality. And I was just speaking about this in a live stream on Facebook, talking about how the reason we need to do energy work is because it's because when we don't heal ourselves energetically, we are just putting band-aids on the problems, right? Technical difficulties, guys. I'm just, making sure people are getting in here. Okay. So when we heal ourselves energetically, we can then heal ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally as well. The physical reality we're currently living in, and this includes our physical body, guys, the physical reality we're currently living in is nothing more than a direct manifestation and a barometer of what is going on for us internally. Right? So think about that. So if we have unhealed energetic trauma that we've been carrying, then this is going to manifest in our physical reality in the way of, attracting patterns that replay out these traumas, will attract people that, continue to treat us in the ways that maybe initially traumatized us. And, this is something that is very in depth, as it comes to working with the chakras and it comes to working with energy. Right? So when you start thinking about the world as that, you start realizing that you do, in fact, have a lot more control over your physical reality than you thought you did. So it empowers you to stop being a victim of the world and a victim of everybody else and their behavior. And it empowers you to start taking charge over your life and your well-being. Because when you take your healing onto an energetic plane, what starts happening is outwardly the physical realm responds to that. So, you stop attracting those patterns, right? You stop attracting the same people over and over again that keep perpetuating the same harm because the lesson is learned. And when you've healed from it and you've released these energetic blocks, you then stop having to, have these patterns play out, if that makes sense. And again, guys, if you have any questions, ask them in the chat and I will answer them as I go if I can. Otherwise, I will address them at the end. So very quickly, I know, again, you saw this slide, but you couldn't hear what I was saying. The agenda of this workshop, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am and how what I'm teaching can help you. I am very much an advocate, guys, for knowing your teachers, doing research on your teachers. They're unfortunately, just like with any industry, there is always going to be, snake oil salesmen and charlatans who are in it for the money and they have not done their own internal energetic work. Okay. Authenticity is real, guys. Listen to your gut and listen to your intuition when you are searching for teachers. If you take any advice from me, take that advice from me. I by no means think that everybody on the planet is meant to work with me as a healer. I think that people will find the healers that they are meant to, and then in turn, they will go on to heal the people they are meant to. So that's part of the sacred ecosystem I talk about. So, you'll learn a little bit about me. We're going to talk about, I'm going to give you guys an introduction to the 7 main chakras and a brief overview of what they govern and how you can begin to diagnose your own personal blocks. So we will talk about each chakra from root to crown a little bit, and I'm going to talk about how you can start working with them. So who am I, right, guys? There's a little photo of me. Hi, I'm here. I'm live. It's me. And this photo, I enjoy it because I think it sort of embodies who I am. I am a nature enthusiast. I spend a lot of time outside, outdoors. I think that a main reason for a lot of our disconnection and a lot of our illness is that we are disconnected from nature. We need to be connected to nature in order to empower ourselves and heal as we are meant to live. And that is why in my courses, one of the main elements I do prompt people to do is get out and get in touch with nature. Some of you guys know me. Some of you guys may be working with me currently. Some of you may have worked with me before. Some of you may be brand new. And that's okay. I work with people on all spectrums, beginners. We work on Facebook. We work on Zoom. We have a lot of different modalities that we do. So I am an energy worker and chakra healer. I do a lot of Reiki. I work with crystals. I work with yoga. I am YTT 200-hour Santosha Hatha Yoga certified. I have my Reiki level 3. My husband is a Reiki master, so lucky for me, he does my Reiki attunements. I am what I thought was an empath, but I found out more along the lines I am more of a clairsentient than I am an empath. I know things more than I feel them. I get downloads of information that I know about people, places, and things, which makes me more clairsentient. I was a cancer survivor, guys. I had cancer when I was 26. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. And this was a direct manifestation of the energy blocks that I was carrying around in my root, sacral, and throat chakras, which I will get into a little bit as we go through this workshop. So I want you guys to know that because I want you guys to know and understand that I have done some deep healing work, and what I offer is a combination of my own experiences and my own learnings and what I've learned and what I incorporate into my own life and what I have found that works. And that's exactly what I want to pass on to others. So not only was I a cancer survivor, I am a recovered drug addict, and I had severe depression and anxiety as well. And all of these things were direct manifestations of my soul sister, Chantal. Yep. They were a direct manifestation of my energetic blockages in my chakras. So I came to learn about the chakras early in my journey. A book found me and I started reading it, and I was like, oh, as I was reading about the chakras, I was like, I know this information. Wow. It was just like a refreshing of it. And there's that clairsentience, I was awakening this inner knowledge and very much tapping into it. And I firmly knew then that in my path, it was going to be part of my mission and my gift to offer this type of healing to others and to teach others, to empower others. So that's why I'm very excited about doing this work. I'm a student of Kriya Yoga. Paramahansa Yogananda is my guru. It's just what aligns with me, and I love his teachings. The Self-Realization Fellowship is where I do a lot of my learning as well. I am very influenced by the Buddhist and Hindu traditions and pantheons. And I grew up in a Catholic-oriented family. I did my communion and all that. I used to go to church and all that stuff. So, I'm not by any means anti-religious, but I am I subscribe to, I'm going to turn myself off again so we can look at the slides. I subscribe to spirituality. And for me, I just believe that if religion helps you in your spiritual journey and your growth, that's great. But I try to empower people not to rely on it as a crutch. That is a big part of the work I do, is empowering all of us to not lean on anything as a crutch. Because you guys, all of these things, oh, good. You're back, Ashley. Yay. I got everybody here and you guys can hear me. So guys, that's one of the biggest takeaways from the work that I do with you is like Chris and I always say, I'm part of the Hug Your Chaos, message and mantra is that we want to empower you to not need us for the rest of your life. We don't want to create people that are dependent on what we do. We want to create empowered people who, yes, maybe we work together for a period of time. Maybe you do some of my chakra sessions. Maybe you end up in any of our other programs, but that is your doorway to empowerment. And I don't want to create lifelong people who we have these cords and this need and this unhealthy codependent relationship. That is a very, retail way of thinking, consumerist way of thinking. And that's not what our Hug Your Chaos mission is. Like we like to say, we want to teach you how to fish. We are not going to give you fish. Teach a man to fish and he can feed himself for life. To give a man a fish and he will keep coming back for more. So wink, wink. That is what my mission in life is. So let's jump into it, guys, right? Because we're not here to talk about me, but I did want you guys just to know who I am and what I'm offering. So guys, root chakra, Muladhara chakra. This is your I am power center, okay? This is where we connect to the element of earth, which is very powerful. Do you guys remember that I just mentioned that disconnection from the earth element? Well, that energetically sits in our root chakra. That blockage that causes us to be disconnected from the earth begins in our root chakra, and it is very much fed by society today. It is very much fed by this materialistic, consumerist society we live in that tells us that all the answers to our problems can be found in these people, places, and things outside of us. And all of those things are manufactured. So what do? We chase, right? Guess what? What if I told you that everything you needed was found within you and within nature and in a connection to the earth element? What would that do for consumerism? So guys, physically, the root chakra governs our skin, our bones, and our sense of taste. So yes, I know you're suffering from a lower back injury. So root chakra is found at the base of your spine. This is the energetic foundation point of all the energy work you will do. This is the foundation of all of your healing work is linked to your root chakra. Guys, deep traumas are stored in our root chakra, and this can be from past life. This can be from ancestral, and this can be from this life. We store these things in our root chakra. So, a lot of times this is where we find our security, our stability, our grounding, our abundance. Fear is going to come from here. Insecurity is going to come from here. So very quickly, I would like to say that, and guys, jot down these questions to ask yourself for each of these slides. If you have your pen and paper, make note of these questions I have at the bottom. So keep in mind, when you talk about the chakras, right, guys, you have an energy center. So this is a subtle energy center found at the root of your spine, at the base of your spine, Muladhara. The color of this energy center is red. Okay, you have this energy center. So your energy can be blocked, it can be deficient, it can be excessive. Okay, it can fluctuate from too much to too little. So if you often don't feel safe and secure, if you anxiety, right, constantly living in the future, living in every moment but the now, that's going to be indicative of excessive root chakra energy. Feeling unsafe and insecure is going to be indicative of a lot of, blockages there, of stagnant energy, stored, stuck trauma, right? If you struggle with anxiety, if you struggle with meeting, your own needs or bringing in abundance, and you struggle, if you have this need to control, or if you have physical problems surrounding your skin or your bones or your taste, right? If you have this constant need to look outward for the answers, that's going to be something that's showing you a root chakra blockage. If you feel disconnected to the earth, from the earth, and you often find yourself not in the present moment, start looking at that root chakra work. If you know you have trauma to heal from, I can almost guarantee you have blockages in the root chakra and your energy isn't flowing the way it should. So when you guys think about the chakras, I want you to think about them like a highway system, an energetic highway system, right? Prana, chi, life force. This energy, this life force energy flows through your nadis. It flows through your subtle energy channels. So when you work with things like acupuncture, they very much work with these subtle energy channels. And that's why when they stick pins all up and down your body, they're sticking them in these meridians. Well, these very meridians are where the energy flows. And it's because when these meridians are blocked, you're not going to have healthy function of your organs, of your skin, of your different bodily systems. So that's why, and how acupuncture works, because by sticking the pins in, they're able to help this energy flow move. Okay, so when you work with the chakras, you're also helping that energy flow move, because those blocks, chakra work and acupuncture are very much, go hand in hand. The same with yoga, because the thing is, guys, yoga, oh, totally. You guys can look at me while I talk if you want, if that works for you. So that's why yoga works with these two, because yoga works to move energy, right? Yoga poses, yoga asanas work to get our body ready for meditation. And it's by going into meditation that we really can get into these more subtle realms, for sure, Kendall. So the sacral chakra, guys, Svadhisthana, I feel, right? The keywords for Svadhisthana chakra is I feel. And this is where we connect with the element of water, okay? We're elemental creatures. We are creatures of earth in the physical realm. We have very many energy bodies. We have the subtle body, we have energy body, we have emotional body, physical body, mental body. Problem with our life is that we are so caught up in our physical reality and our physical body that we forget about ourselves on the energetic realm. We forget about ourselves on the emotional realm. So our lower three chakras, guys, govern our physical reality. They have a lot to do with our physical reality. Sacral chakra is where we connect with the element of water. It's going to govern all of the water, blood, lymph, digestion, sense of smell, okay, our emotional flow, our creativity, and our masculine and feminine energy streams. Because, guys, keep in mind, and this is something that I think we all need to do a lot of healing work around individually and as a collective. The reason there is so much oppression and suppression between the genders is because we forget that within ourselves, we have a physical energy, a masculine energy stream and a feminine energy stream. And this is governed by our sacral chakra. So I can almost guarantee that most of the people in the world who have not embarked on a healing journey are still battling, blocks and imbalances and traumas around the masculine and feminine energy because of gender roles, because we're told, oh, you need to be more of a lady, be more like this, man up, men aren't supposed to cry, right? All of these things. Chantel, that acupuncture thing is wow. Yeah. So all of these gender paradigms that we put on everybody in these boxes that we need to fit in, they do more harm than they do of good, right? So, if we find that we're suppressing one of our energy streams, because, for me personally, I suppressed my feminine energy stream because I was brought up in an environment where I saw the feminine energy stream as weak. And I thought that I needed to be tough. And I thought that if I allowed myself to be feminine, that I was going to get taken advantage of. And I said, I'm not going to let that happen. So I suppressed and I held my feminine energy stream down. And I thought that it was weak to be, empathic and sensitive and compassionate. And I was very hardened and I was unemotional and I was very robotic and I was very angry. And those were some of the things that led to me having cancer and addiction and depression. So yeah, guys, we individually have to cultivate and nurture both of our own internal masculine and feminine energy streams before we can go on to heal the world. So that's something to keep in mind. So the questions you want to ask yourself here are, am I rigid in my thinking? Do I hold grudges? Am I too flexible? Because there is such a thing as being too flexible too. Am I overly emotional or unemotional? Because those are going to be our two keys. So the overly emotional can be like excessive needy sacral chakra energy, people that are just emotionally emoting all over, right? And I was the other extreme of that. I was very closed down and unemotional and robotic. So guys, keep in mind, anytime we're talking about one of these centers, we want to strive for balance. We want to strive for the place in the middle where we reel in the things that are too much or too little, right? So it's good to be, when I was talking about the root chakra, it's good to be secure, safe, and grounded, but there's also possible to be too grounded where you almost get stuck and you get a little bit stagnant, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. There can be too much. So same thing with sacral chakra. You can be too emotional, too watery, too, too flexible where it's like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow all the time. And you're never standing up for yourself, which perfectly brings us to the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura chakra, right? So, our color, guys, our color for the sacral chakra is orange, and it is also our sexual center. Combined with the root chakra, root and sacral chakra are very much geared towards our survival, our procreation. Exactly that, Ashley, right. You don't have to be a doormat to be in touch with your sacral chakra. True that. So moving on to the solar plexus, right? Color is yellow. This is the Manipura chakra. This is our center, guys, right here, right at the solar plexus. Power center, fire center, action, vitality. I do are the key words to the solar plexus. This is where we connect with the element of fire, the sun. Guys, this is our get it done center. So if you struggle with confidence, if you struggle with empowerment, if you struggle with boundaries, digestion, eating disorders, it also governs our eyesight. Physically, it governs your, digestive tract. So if you're someone who suffers from, stomach problems, acid reflux, digestive issues, carrying other people's stuff. So a big way for the solar plexus to end up blocked or stagnant is if you are burying your inner fire under carrying other people's energetic and emotional baggage. How many of us, guys, take on the role of, I'll carry everybody's crap. I'm going to be over here taking responsibility for everybody's emotional bullshit. That will block up your Manipura chakra. So again, confidence, vitality, action, do you procrastinate? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel confident? Do you struggle with your personal, not security in the sense of safety and well-being? That's going to be root chakra. But do you struggle with your own, insecurities as far as who and what you are? Do you struggle to stand in your power? Do you avoid standing in your power? Do you have digestive issues? And again, for a couple of you that just joined in, take notes on these questions and journal on them later. Do I take on other people's emotional baggage? Power questions to ask, guys. Power questions. So, for me, I've had a lot of digestive issues in my life. I've had energy cords, I've had parasites, and it's funny, I've done some shamanic healing with combo frog medicine, and After that, I definitely just it power cut through. It went right to just my solar plexus chakra and was working on my digestion and my intestines. And, there's a lot of power in this healing. People will cord us energetically at the solar plexus chakra. And some people do it unintentionally and some people do it intentionally. Energy vampires are real. Psychic vampires are real. People who want to prey on your emotional vulnerabilities are real. And it's sad to say that even in the energy realm and even in the spiritual realms, there are people out there that do that. And that is why I talk about it, because I want you guys to be aware of it. I want you to know that, if you're still feeling tapped out all the time, it may be caused to a number of reasons. If you're doing a lot of your energy work and you're healing your own issues and you're not taking on people's stuff, and you're holding your energetic boundaries and you're still feeling tapped out all the time, or you're feeling, a crazy incessant need to do something that you don't want to be doing, that can be cording. So look at that. I do work around contract burnings, and we do talk about, cutting cords in our Facebook group. So, let me put the Facebook groups in here too. If you guys want to join our Facebook groups, feel free. If you're not already in there, I know a lot of you are. So, because we do talk about this stuff, because I think it's empowering and I think it's important to write, because energy vampires, it's like the empath and the narcissist, right? Which is a whole other topic. I'm not going to get into that, but it's like that same relationship, right? So if you are empowering yourself and you have strong solar plexus chakra energy, you will have to watch out for those little quarters and those vampires coming in, because they want your energy. That's what they thrive on. So be wary and do your research. And that's why I say that. So our heart chakra, green, guys. And it's funny, I just painted my toes green yesterday. I was all in that heart chakra energy. I was like, oh, I'm going to go green. So healing and forgiveness, the anahata chakra, guys. This is our connection to the element of air. Movement. So heart chakra and root chakra can very much work together for our movement, and not movement in the sense of the action center of solar plexus chakra. And keep it in mind, guys. So the chakras, I'm giving you guys a very broad spectrum introductory level, a high level thing about the chakras here, because it can be a little bit confusing for those of you who are brand new to this. So I'm trying to keep it very intro, but there are very much interrelations between the chakras. So as I go through these, I'm talking about them one by one, because I want you guys to have an understanding. And that's, I teach a beginner course, which I will offer you guys if you're interested in doing that. I do teach a beginner 7-week course where we spend a week on each chakra. And the reason I do it that way is because I like to get in depth and give all the information and get the connection flowing for each chakra before we start getting into the advanced work. Because as you get into the advanced work, you start seeing that there's a very interrelated dynamic between all the systems. It's that whole system I was talking to you guys about. So if you ever hear somebody telling you that working with the chakras is easy, they're full of shit and they don't know what they're talking about. It's not easy. Let me get rid of that. It's not easy or hard, but it takes energy, it takes work, it takes time, and it takes discipline. It's not an overnight thing. And if someone is trying to tell you, oh, here, just go take a crystal and go work with your chakras and you'll just heal your chakras, like, they're full of it. It's not about just dabbing essential oil. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys when I say, it's great. You can have the tools, and it's awesome if you have the tools. Crystals are wonderful. I have a huge crystal collection. I love working with essential oils. But you know what, guys, if you're not actually doing the work, those things are just Band-Aids, right? Exactly that, Ashley. Working with the chakras is a commitment. It's a disciplined practice that you're going to have to do over time. And the thing is once you start, so once you start connecting with and communicating with your chakras, and I laugh because I love it, because the deeper I go, it's like the rabbit hole, but it's so fascinating to me, and I love teaching it to other people. So I get really excited about it. But it is a commitment. So it's not the type of thing like, if you're not really ready for the empowerment and the change that comes with it, then, you don't start doing it. When you're ready, you'll start. And when you're ready, the information is out there. And that's why I offer these brand new beginner level free webinars and free workshops, because I want you guys to have the information for when you're ready. And if you're ready now, that's great too. We can talk, but it sure is a commitment, because the deeper you go, the deeper it gets. And the more you start understanding, the more complex you realize we are, but it's complex in a very simple way. Which is the paradox. And I love the paradox. My husband is the alchemist, and he's all about the degrees of vibrations and the paradoxes and the opposites and the, the universal principles of Hermeticism. And I love it because it really aligns with the chakras, especially the deeper that I get. And it's fascinating to me. So side note and rant. I like to do things very intuitively, and I don't go by scripts. And, that's just the way I roll. So if you like scripted, I might not be the one for you. So Anahata, guys, I love connection to the air element. Physically, the heart chakra governs all things related to our respiratory system, right? Respiratory system is massive. Now we have lungs, we have a diaphragm, we have the esophagus. Our sense of touch is also governed here. So keep in mind, right, guys, when you're breathing, right, you take a deep breath in, and it's through our nose, come through our mouth, down our throat, into our lungs, and expansion. So as we start working with the heart chakra, this is very much where we start to expand, okay? Because like I just said, guys, the lower three chakras very much are control how we behave physically. A lot of our more severe mental and emotional and, energetic diseases and stuff like that are going to come from blockages in the lower chakras. So like me, it fueled by that sacral chakra blockage with my cancer and my addictions. So our heart chakra is also, guys, our center of divine love and forgiveness and compassion, selflessness, right? This is our inner temple. This is where the core essence, the sweetness of who and what we are is there. It's in there. And that's why I love heart chakra centered yoga, because you have that moment. In Buddhism, we call it the bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta is that inner soft spot, that inner sweetness, that place of vulnerability that we feel like we need to protect, right? It's that little place within us that we hold so sacred. And we come into this world not understanding it, and we're thrust into this crazy materialistic physical realm, and we very quickly think we need to protect that space, so we build up these walls around our heart center. So guys, chronic problems related to respiratory function and heart function can be rooted in the heart chakra. So these are things you can look at. If your physical body is telling you, and screaming for physical attention by things like chronic, bronchitis and chronic colds and coughs and stuff like that, heart problems. So the questions to ask yourself here are, do I struggle with self-love? Do I struggle with forgiveness of self and others? Powerful questions, guys, powerful questions. And I suggest you're writing down these questions to ask and journaling on them later. So the throat chakra, my favorite, guys, the color is blue. Vishuddha is purity in Sanskrit. Vishuddha means purity, purification. I speak. And again, guys, keep in mind that speaking is about more than, communication is about more than speaking. It's also about listening. So the element here is ether, space, right? Akasha, known in some circles. This is where we begin to connect with these more subtle realms. And it is really where we continue our expansion that we started connecting to in our heart chakra. So physically, the throat chakra is going to govern our ears, our hearing, our communication, and our speech. And, things like sore throats, speech impediments, hearing problems. You guys, I started having problems with my ears when I was not even a year old. And I write all about this in my book, Fractured, which you'll be able to buy tomorrow if you haven't already pre-ordered a copy from me. Guys, I chronicle my whole life based on the energetic perspective and the energetic points of view. And the chakras. So I paint you a picture of my energy blocks in the hopes that doing so is going to help you realize some of your own. So the whole book is about how to heal ourselves energetically from, for me personally, it was my hearing problem, my addiction, my depression, my anxiety, trauma. So this is our center of communication and self-expression, guys. This is where we express ourselves. Here, center of purity. So if we're constantly harboring, toxic and negative thoughts, and we're bringing them down and our throat chakra isn't functioning, our throat chakra isn't able to purify those thoughts. So the toxic vibrations of those thoughts are coming down and being stored in our body. Think about that. You wonder why illness and disease is so present. So the questions to ask yourself in order to work with the throat chakra are, do I express myself honestly and openly? Do I listen as much as I speak? Am I connected to my truth, my self-truth? Are you living an honest and authentic life? Or are you afraid to be who you really are? Big questions to come to terms with, guys. Big questions there. The third eye chakra, third eye center, guys. Ajna, I see. And this is where we really start to tap into the higher realms and the more spiritual realms, our intuition, our higher self. So our connection to the collective consciousness is directly linked to the function of our third eye chakra. So if you are someone who is very much living in the, if you are stuck in the physical realms and you have a hard time connecting with the more spiritual, and this can come from the dogma of the church. A lot of times what we see in people, in so many of us in the world today, is people are traumatized by an experience with, an organized religion or a cult or someone who posed as a spiritual guru and took advantage of them. So then what we see is the pendulum swings the other way. And all of a sudden that person becomes very shut down to anything sort of higher level, anything spiritual, anything esoteric, anything religious. And that's a block. That's an energetic block in the third eye and crown chakra. And what we'll often see in that is we'll see this spike in, logical, analytical thinking, because the energetic, the energy of the third eye chakra is, it becomes excessive because it's not flowing in a healthy pattern, or it becomes deficient. And we start seeing, things like extreme atheist, extreme logic, right? Extreme reasoning, extreme rationalization, and, this inability to view things as more than physical, right? So when we get this center flowing healthy and well, we get to connection to our higher self, our intuition takes off, our rational thinking is able to be balanced with feeling. We become creatures of rationalization and feeling. So we become able to be intellectual, but also be emotional. We start using both hemispheres of those brain instead of limiting ourselves to, oh, I'm just this way or I'm just this way. We start to transcend the duality of needing identities and of needing, oh, I'm just analytical or I'm this, and putting ourselves in these this or that boxes that we do when we're stuck in the dualistic thinking. So when we're stuck in the dualistic paradigm, guys, we limit ourselves drastically. So if you're very, rigid and you don't like to move identities and you're fixed in that, that's such a sign for some third eye chakra work and some healing. Hello, Neha. So questions to ask yourself: do I often feel as though I am going through life blind? Do I feel connected to others? And do I overthink or overanalyze? Big questions to ask. So jot down those questions, ask yourselves, journal on them later. And if anybody checked into this a little bit late, it's okay. I will email out a recording to you guys so you can go back and watch this. You will have access to the slides. You'll have access to everything I'm saying. And you'll be able to go back through these slides and work with these journal prompts if you feel called to do that. And I definitely suggest you do that. I mean, I struggle to forgive easily. And that's probably why you I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you, but I think it's funny because I laugh at myself a lot. So please, guys, never take offense if I laugh at you, because I am laughing at you out of recognition and honoring that part of myself. So I laugh with you out of identification. So if I laugh at what you're saying, it's because I get you. Okay. So I will say that for those of you that are new to me. I struggle to forgive easily. And that's probably why you hurt your lower back, because when you struggle to forgive easily, you're not flexible. And when you think about the region of your body that you hurt, is it by any chance on the left side of your lower back? I'm curious. So when you start looking at your injuries, and it's something that controls our movement, like our lower back, and you guys see me moving here, right? Okay, because you're holding grudges, you're storing up all this blocked energy. So yeah, you're going to have an injury that's going to tweak. Of course it is, because you know what, left side is your feminine side of your body, compassion, forgiveness, empathy, sensitivity. So I'm not surprised at all is the left side of your body. So I really think that you need to work and embrace with some of your feminine energies and allow yourself to get in touch with your emotions and your forgiveness. Open your heart chakra as well. Definitely. Powerful stuff there, guys. There's powerful healing to be had. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit at the end about the chakra healing sessions I do offer, because if any of this is resonating with you, I do want you to be aware of the modalities that I offer, because it is what I do. So I want you to be aware that there are, healing alternatives out there. And clearly I need help with slides, because as you guys see, I cut off all my slides here. So crown chakra, guys, Sahasrara. I understand. This is the gateway to our higher realms. Guys, we do have chakras above us. And for those of you that are watching or, attending this and you've done my beginner course, you guys, we're going to be starting the advanced course soon. And in the advanced course, we are going to talk about the soul star chakra. Excuse me while I have some water. So you guys, I'm talking about the 7 major chakras. So, right, we went root, we went sacral, we went solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown is up here at the top of the head. So I'm talking about these 7 major chakras as a beginner session, but we have chakras above us, and because our bodies extend outwards, this is why people see auras. We have etheric bodies, we have auric bodies, we have all these higher realms. So we have chakras outside of our body too, lower chakras as well, the earth star. We have minor chakras throughout our body, throughout our arms, and throughout our legs. But to keep it simple, I am teaching you guys about the 7 main chakras, because this webinar and workshop is geared towards beginners. So that soft spot up here, guys, have you ever had prickling up here? That's your crown chakra trying to talk. And yeah. So this is where it's beautiful. The connection to the oneness consciousness, right? Samadhi, as we talk about in a lot of Buddhism and Hinduism and yoga, the Yoga Sutras, the Upanishads, you hear about samadhi, right? I have it tattooed on my arm as a reminder of what I am striving for. Guys, samadhi is it's where you transcend the suffering, okay? In Buddhism, no. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay, guys. You guys refresh and I will be unfrozen. Awesome. Good. You had me in a panic. I was like, no, this is on fire. I'm having so much fun with you guys. Technology. Wait, where's that Napoleon Dynamite? I love technology. I really do. I really, really do. Do you guys know Napoleon Dynamite? Yes, I love technology. Let me get serious. All right, guys. Why do you love me? Yes, I love technology. Oh, technology is trying me today, guys. Thank you for your patience and thank you for bearing with me. Everything happens for a reason, right? So back to our crown chakra, Sahasrara, I understand. This is where we really tap into our higher understanding. So yeah, guys, if it's still frozen, hit the reconnect button. Thank you, Ashley and Kendall. This is our center of self-realization. So you guys heard me in the beginning talk about being a student of Kriya Yoga and Paramahansa Yogananda as my guru and self-realization fellowship. So self-realization is not about the self. It is about tapping into our Christ consciousness, our God consciousness. It's where we find connection and healing. This is where we start to transcend duality and samsara. Great, Amin. So samsara in Buddhism is the self-imposed suffering, right? The wheel of samsara that we get on. And if you guys read Pema Chodron, I love her. I love her to death, right? She just nails it in every book she writes. She talks about how we create our own suffering by constantly trying to avoid pain. And pain is a very real part of life. And when we are connected spiritually, we start understanding that pain is a very real part of life, and we start being able to better, manage these things, and we stop needing to avoid these things. The avoidance of these very real elements of life is what causes our suffering. Okay. When we try to avoid the darkness, and this is why Chris and I came out with Hug Your Chaos, because we realized that the spiritual and the healing realms were very much lacking in people that were being real about, dealing with the darkness. Just because we start spiritual healing and energy healing does not make us all namaste, all love and light, the kumbaya bullshit, right? It's not all kumbaya bullshit. There's a very real element inside of us, guys. The more light we get, the more our darkness grows too. It's energy. For one to exist, the opposite has to exist. If you've read Eckhart Tolle, this is what he talks about in The Power of Now. Realizing that, in this space of connection, we have this light and we have this presence. Well, in order for the light to have context, there has to be an opposite. Seeking to get out of who and what we are. And so much of our struggle and our suffering comes from there. So when we're really connected to our crown chakra, we start to see through all of this, this illusion of reality that goes back to that Morpheus slide I showed you in the beginning. So what if I told you that, taking the blue pill and going down the rabbit hole is removing the veil? That's powerful stuff. So that's really where you start to get into this. So the questions to ask yourself, spiritual purpose, that can be a crown chakra blockage. Am I living this purpose or am I just existing? Do I struggle to see beyond my own limited belief systems that cling to this paradigm? That's what that says. Do I struggle to see beyond my own belief systems that cling to this outdated paradigm that we're in? So powerful stuff to ask yourselves, guys. Are you guys frozen? Can you hear me? You guys, if you're freezing, you will get access to the recording of this. My apologies. I don't think it's my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi seems to be on point right now. But let me know if it's freezing for everybody. So guys, that's your intro, high level introduction to the 7 major chakras from root to crown. So if these are resonating with you, and I definitely suggest you take those journal prompts and you journal on them. Please do. Okay, good. So you're learning about these 7 chakras and you're saying, oh, okay, me too. Oh yeah, I get that. Oh, I relate with that. Oh, that's me. Or I'm having this physical problem, right? So what can you do about it? How to start a chakra healing practice. Meditation, guys. Meditation is powerful. So, pardon me 1 second. I'm going to grab books. Oh, okay. So, there's really powerful meditation tools you can use, right? Yantras, guys, these are known as yantras. This is a very powerful meditation tool you can use. So you can start researching stuff like that. Do your research. Meditation can be anything. It can be visualization. It can be guided meditations. Like I do a lot of guided meditations in the healing modalities that I offer because I feel like there's power in that. And that's how I did a lot of my healing. So guided visualization journeys, using visual aids like the yantras I just showed you, right? Using sound, singing bowls, right? Singing bowls are very healing. So you can get singing bowl, healings and sound healings. You can use crystals, yoga, you guys, yoga and acupuncture, and getting that energy flowing is going to start moving your chakra energy and awakening and getting you connected there. Mantras, chanting, pranayama breath work is massive. Pranayama breath work is like a bulldozer for energy blocks. If you can find a pranayama breath work class to go and do in person, I highly suggest going and do it. It will absolutely blast through your energy blocks. You can use affirmations to start getting in there and reprogramming some of the limiting beliefs. Color therapy, essential oils, herbs. You guys, this is like, there's so many tools out there. Greetings, everybody. Hello, it's Lindsay here. And I do hope that you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that you gained lots of insight and powerful information that you can start using in your life to empower and heal the areas governed by each of the 7 major chakras. So just there at the end, we discussed quite a few ways that you can start to incorporate different practices that you can start to add into your own life to bring healing, balance, and alignment to your chakras, such as crystals, such as meditation, yoga, essential oils, and different practices. So there's one way that you can sort of incorporate all of these, and I have a very special offer for you. I have a 7-week course that I am now offering at a discounted rate, because instead of doing the course live stream, usually I do it live over 7 weeks, and a lot of people can't really make the time commitments. So I'm now also choosing to offer the course as a pace yourself module. So you'll get all of the information, and the course includes a video classroom on each one of the chakras, a PDF document that has tons of information, correspondences, affirmations, and journal prompts. It's about a 4-page PDF document for you to read through on each chakra. A small mini class on essential oils for each chakra. There is information on working with the crystals on each chakra, yoga asanas for each chakra, a guided meditation, and a mini class on working with the yantra for each chakra. So you can get all of this in one package. And usually this course goes for $444 when I teach it virtually live online, because of the time dedication that it takes for me also. But in the do-it-yourself, pace-yourself version, I'm now offering the 7-week course and all of the information I just shared for $97. All you need to do is click the button below and you can purchase the class. All of the documents will be emailed to you. You will also be added to a Facebook group where I do interact with you guys as well for extra just support and questions, because I never want you to feel alone while you are doing this work. And I want you to have a community and a space where you can ask questions, get feedback, share your experiences, or get anything else that you need from me. So if that sounds like something that's for you, this allows you the time and space to work through the content on your own pace. And it also offers just a much cheaper option for those of you, if you can't make the financial commitment to doing the live class. And if you're interested in the live class, it won't be something that I'm be doing for several more months. So I do hope to see you in this version of the class if you haven't yet enrolled in my live stream classes. So namaste, many blessings, and I'll see you soon.